Been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, and Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fists. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. And the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this.
I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Call me baby if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Come on, come on, come on. Reaching out to you, so take a chance. No matter where you go, you know you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing. I'm only one call scared. I just wanna set you free. Come on, come on, come on. You and me can make it anywhere. And for now, we can stay here for a while. Yeah, 'cause you know, I just wanna see you smile. No matter where you go, you know you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. And when you're weak, I'll be strong. I'm gonna keep holding on. Now don't you worry, it won't be long, darling. And when you feel like hope is gone, just run into my arms. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. I'm only one call away.
どうもよろしくお願いします。
京都の藤田です。よろしくお願いします。
どうも、IGES藤野です。今日本当どうもありがとうございます。
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to join the first North-East Asia local government session for the 2021 North-East Asia Multi-Stakeholder Forum on the SDGs that will take place this Thursday and Friday. I'm Denise Yoon, focal point of North-East Asia's regional group of APRCEM, Asia Pacific Regional Civil Society Engagement Mechanism, and I also work for Korea SDG Network. We will have a 2-hour session until 5 p.m. to share local governance system for SDG implementation and local practices on the SDG 4, 5, 14, or 15 in 6 cities from 3 countries, Japan, Korea, Mongolia. The result of this session will be delivered to the main event this Thursday and Friday via local government sessions, representatives at IGES and the Shimokawa town. This session is now recording and streamed live through the YouTube channel of Korea SDG Network. Okay, we have just a moment. I need to control some kind from our Zoom meetings here because I'm also not only the technical moderator work, but also I have technical responsibility to control any technical support here. So anyway, then I'd like to invite a welcoming remark, Dr. Junichi Fujino-san from IGES, one of our co-organizers of this session. Dr. Junichi-san, so you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and thank you very much for all the participants, listeners, and also the speakers from the Korea, Mongolia, and Japan. I'm Junichi Fujino from IGES, and then this time IGES is the co-organizer of this first local government session for the North-East Asia Multi-Stakeholder Forum on Sustainable Development. And so we are very honored to have this session. This is first trial, so then let's see what happens. So, and then I very much appreciate also the Fujita-san. He's a CRO in Kyoto City. Also, Tamura-san. He's a director of the Shimokawa-tan, and so I very much appreciate. Local government nowadays it has more like expectation or more like how to say attention, how we will have the sustainable development on the ground. Now we are in 2021. And then 6 years passed since 2015 when we have a 2030 agenda, and then we have only around 8-9 years to achieve 2030 SDG goals. So it's a quite important timing for all of us to think about how to achieve the 2030 target. Also, how we have better future beyond 2030. And so today it's quite exciting to learn about the real activity happening in the city or by the local government, and then how we can share our lesson learned at the main forum on 28th and 29th. So I fully also appreciate Dennis. You a whole great job to organize this event, not only substantial but also logistical and support. And so so this is the first one, but we'd like to have further development of this session too. So thank you so much for all the participants, and then let's have a good session.
Thank you for the remark. Anyway, before now inviting the next presenters, I'd like to kindly ask all the participants, rename yourselves in English with your name and organization to recognize you, who all the participants involved in here. And then okay, and
Hello,
please
Dennis.
turn on your video camera.
Hello, Dennis.
If possible. Yes.
Could you please assign me as an interpreter? I can't start interpretation.
See, so actually, I didn't make it facilitate the interpretation function because I don't have any information for the interpretation service for the Mongolian friends. I think
I was assigned to do the interpretation for this session. I'm ready to do so if you will assign me as an interpreter.
Really, but I
Denise, I sent you information that we will be provided for all sessions with translation.
Really, but I need to check this that the translation function is available. Cannot facilitate this now from this system because I didn't make it work at the moment in a function. If so, I need to be check it first. Anyways,
okay.
Please turn on your video cameras for our YouTube streaming and to see your face. Yes, and then just a moment. I need to check the first interpretation function at the moment. In my understanding, that we cannot make it work at the moment. If I do not, make it work in advance. Lange?
Yes, I'm available.
Yeah. Actually, so I do not facilitate the translation function for this, session, because I don't know. Even the Mongolian interpretation service is also available for the local government session.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
didn't.
then
Yeah,
I
I just
leave
did not
this
think.
meeting then.
Only. Yeah, I just think it's only the CSO session, youth session, and main events only available for Mongolian interpretation service.
Okay.
So that's why I'm sorry about that.
Okay, let me make announcement to Mongolians.
Yeah.
За уучлаарай, сайн байцгаана уу? Би орчуулагч Сэлэнгэ байна. Уул нь энэхүү хурал нь монгол хэлнээ синхроноор орчуулагдах ёстой байтал зохиох тохируулга нь хийгдэггүй улмаас орчуулах боломжгүй боллоо. Тийм учраас та бүхнээс хүлцэл өчөөд би энэ уулзалтаас гарах нэ.
За уучлаарай Сэлэнгэ. Энэ жоохон тий холбогдлолгүй юм болчих шиг боллоо.
Okay, bye bye.
Sorry for my Mongolian participants. There is some miscommunication between me and Mongolian colleagues. I'm sorry about that. This is my mistake to check up one more time. So anyway, yeah, we need to keep going on our own sessions. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Sang-Min Nam, Vice Director of UNESCAP North-East Asia Office, to introduce the North-East Asia SDG platform for your understanding of global SDG follow-up process and multi-stakeholder engagement mechanism. Dr. Nam, you have 10 minutes for presentation. Please welcome him with a big applause.
Thank you, all the participants and especially organizers for holding these important pre-sessions. And we really appreciate your voluntary initiative for organizing CSO, youth, and local government pre-sessions. And I mean, you are already well aware of this process, but there are some participants who might be first time to join this process. So for the benefit of those who are not familiar with this process, let me make a brief presentation on our process. Yeah, okay. Oh, where is it? Sorry. All right, so this forum is already fifth forum starting from 2017 in Beijing. And so we look forward to seeing you in the forums starting on Thursday. And this forum starting from 2017 in Beijing and then 2018, and we had this forum in Ulaanbaatar. At that time, we had a great collaboration with the Mongolian CSOs. And during this back-to-back with this forum, we also organized VNR training. And then the VNR report was presented to HLPF in 2019. So it was great opportunity for us to collaborate with Mongolia on both on this forum and VNR report. And then 2019, we had a forum in Vladivostok. One important element was full participation from all North-East Asian countries and also very active role of CSOs. And then unfortunately, as you know, last year, we had to go to virtual setting. And then again, we are having this virtual meeting. In the sub-regional forums, I mean, let me also highlight that this the connection between sub-regional forums with the regional and global processes. And for SCAP, we have 5 sub-regional forums, so starting from Southeast Asia in September, and then Northeast, and then Central Asia in October, Northeast Asia, and then South Asia Pacific Forum. So from ESCAP's perspective, it is one of our 5 sub-regional forums. But of course, for this sub-regional office and then for those stakeholders in North-East Asia, this is the only forum that we are having together in North-East Asia. And then many of you have already participated in Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development, the APRCEM. So next year, it's going to be held on 28th, 31st March in Bangkok. And then this outcome is provided into the global process, HIPF. And again, so highlighting APRCEM and the sub-regional preparatory meeting, and also you as a representing multi-stakeholder groups. I mean, we have this People's Forum organized by Asia Pacific Regional CS Engagement Mechanism. And in addition to these forums, we have various knowledge product and partnership products. So I'm going to speak briefly, look at that arrangement. And then we have seen increasing number of stakeholder participation in APRCEM. So, but unfortunately, we had to stop there, I mean, in 2020. But when it comes to North-East Asia, it is still challenging to mobilize participants. But without the support from CSO groups in North-East Asia, we are not really able to organize this annual forum. So we are very grateful to the support of CSO groups. And for ESCAP, in addition to this forum, as I said earlier, so we have multiple knowledge products, one of which is this Asia Pacific SDG Progress Report. Here, this is North-East Asia's review of North-East Asia. And you see this goal 4 and 5 and 14, 15 in North-East Asia. As you can see at the sub-regional level in North-East Asia, many data is not available for goal 4. We have sufficient data only for goal 4.2, 4.1, 4.5 for only for 3 targets. And when it comes to goal 5, we have sufficient data only for 2 targets, 5.1, 5.5. So for ESCAP, how to improve data set for really more accurate review in the progress of SDG implementation is a really challenging work. So this also requires our collaboration with the diverse stakeholders. And you are already, you should have already received this program of a 2020 forum. I mean, the theme is building back better from COVID-19, and with a focus on those 4 SDGs. So we have also arranged the sessions. So one session, so session 2 is for goal 4 and 5. Session 4, and then session 3 is for goal 14 and 15. And then we have this year, not like last forum, so this year we have a special arrangement for the forum to discuss the sub-regional elements of a SDG partnership report. So the last session will be dedicated to 2022 Asia Pacific SDG partnership report. On your left side, you see the cover page of a 2021 report. And then, so this report is jointly developed by ESCAP, ADB, and UNDP. And so with your contributions during the breakout session in session 4, we wish to get sufficient input from North-East Asia for this report. With that, let me conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for organizing this meeting and inviting us to explain our arrangement. Dennis, you are on mute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sang-Mi Nam. I think that is quite good information for our local government colleagues. And hopefully more is the local government, our local government can get some more understanding about SDG follow-up process, especially at sub-regional level. And now I'd like to introduce moderator of session 1, Ms. Yatsuka Kataoka from IGES. Ms. Yatsuka, the floor is yours.
So thank you very much, Sanis, for your kind introductions. Again, my name is Yatsuka Kataoka. I'm from the Institute for Global Environment Strategy, we call it IGES. So the IGES have been working with SDG at the international, national, and local level. And then at local level, so we are conducting the study on SDG localization process and governance, and also in consideration of the importance of monitoring and reporting of the SDG. So we are promoting the voluntary local review, or VR, so the local version of VNR, since 2018. And then we closely collaborate with Japanese local governments and also the local governments in the Southeast Asia countries. So the also we are also contributing the UNESCAP's VLR guideline for the Asian Pacific. So in that context, that we, IGES is, somehow a part of the organizer of this event. So having said that, because of time limitation, I would like to jump into the session. So today we have 3 presenters from the Japan and Korea and Mongolia. So thank you very much for the speakers to accept the invitation. So first we ask to each speakers to make a presentation of 10 minutes, and following that discussion session. So I will introduce the speakers, before the presentation. So first, I would like to ask Mr. Hiroyuki Fujita, Chief Resilience Officer of City of Kyoto, to share the experience of Kyoto on the SDG implementation. So Mr. Fujita, floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm very honored to participate in the North-East Asia local government session. I'm Hiroyuki Fujita, the Chief Resilience Officer of Kyoto City in Japan. Today, I would like to talk about how sustainable cities should be, focusing on SDGs and resilience, and share some of the Kyoto City's initiatives. Sorry, just a moment. First, let me give you a quick overview of the history and characteristics of Kyoto. Kyoto City is one of the few cities in the world that have been a capital for a very long time and has been prospered as a center of Japanese culture, art, education, religion, and manufacturing. And Kyoto is surrounded by mountains, with 3/4 of the city's area is covered by forests, and 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including Kinkakuji Temple, Kiyomizu Temple, and Nijo Castle, are concentrated with a short distance from the city center. So Kyoto is also one of the most popular tourist cities in Japan, maybe in the world. At the same time, Kyoto is also an international city that values multicultural coexistence without regard to differences in race, religion, and social systems. For that, more than 40 years ago, Kyoto made a concrete statement named the Declaration of Kyoto as a city open to the free exchange of world cultures. In addition to that, Kyoto is a leading city in terms of environmental protection as a birthplace of the Kyoto Protocol in 1997 and highly evaluated as an SDGs advanced city in Japan. By the way, in 2016, Kyoto City was appointed to join the 100 Resilient Cities program pioneered by the Rockefeller Foundation, and we are promoting resilient urban planning with a consistent and important theme, integration of resilience and SDGs described in the Kyoto Resilience Strategy. And this Kyoto City applied for the SDGs Future City Project, which is initiated by the Cabinet Office of Japan and was selected as one of the local government SDGs model project this year. This project, titled Super SDGs and Resilience Terrace Actions, aims not only to achieve the SDGs by 2030, but also to achieve the strategy goal of becoming a resilient city by 2040, and to achieve net zero CO2 emissions by 2050. In order to successfully promote the SDGs, partnerships among various stakeholders are crucially important. Therefore, public, private, and academic collaboration is essential in promoting the local government SDGs model project. Today, I would like to introduce one of our representative efforts of the project called Kyoto Super SDGs Consortium, participated by Kyoto University, Kyoto City, and 12 private sectors who are actively involved in SDGs promotion. Sorry. This project is engaged in sharing information, including best practice, advanced case studies, and research findings on SDGs through symposiums and events, joined by a large number of citizens and students. And this project is also tackling the common problems of mountainous regions in Japan, such as decline in population and this industry, by creating job opportunities, promoting the primary industry, and implementing new renewable energy and resource recycling. The targeted area of this project is hilly and mountainous region located in the northwestern part of Kyoto City. This area, called Keihoku, is within 1 hour drive from the city center, with rich nature, where forestry and agriculture are flourishing. But in this area, it has been experiencing rapidly declining population, low birth rate, and aging population, resulted in only 4,000 people living there today, which is less than half compared to the past. These are the same challenges facing many other mountainous regions in Japan. In this area, we've just opened the Kyoto Satoyama SDGs Lab using a closing school building, initiated by the members of Kyoto Super SDGs Consortium. We've decided to use the school building to create a workplace and communication hub between the urban and rural areas. So we've introduced latest facilities, including the internet, prepare the favorable environment for remote working and just opened in August this year. This lab is also expected to be utilized as a venue for co-creation and collaboration by attracting companies and conducting seminars and workshops. And one of the main features of this project is that all the members of Kyoto Super SDGs Consortium, including local resident groups and economic organizations, are working together and directly involved in the operation of this lab, instead of tackling local issues by local government alone. In the future, we hope to share successful examples of Keihoku area with other regions facing similar challenges. Lastly, so I've talked about the examples of the public, private, and academic collaboration project ongoing in Kyoto City. The most important thing is promoting SDGs is to recognize the relationships among the 17 goals and not to create new silos among these goals. Specifically, when promoting various initiatives, it is essential not to make silos within the administrative organization, but it is also important to collaborate and engage with private sectors and academics, as well as citizens, rather than trying to do that by government alone. Oh, sorry. And it also includes the importance of linking issues in urban areas with those in rural areas, and firmly incorporating current issues into future goals. I'm sure that the promotion of SDGs will be successful only if it is integrated with such a philosophy of resilience. With this, it's been a little over time, but I'll end my presentation. Thank you so much. It was great to be here today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fujita, for your excellent presentation. So it's lots of with full of the lessons. So I think the breaking silo you emphasize in the summary slides is very important message for this meeting. Also it kind of important to address climate change and SDG together, also and then including resilience into the actions. So that super SDG is very interesting terminology for Kyoto. So, and then partnerships, and then also it's important, and also it's interesting to facilitate the collaboration of city, urban area, and the suburban areas have a different socio-economic and environmental cultural context. So I think that kind of approach is very applicable for many cities, which combined with urban areas and suburban areas. So thank you very much, Mr. Fujita, for your presentation. So maybe I will come back to you more discussion. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next, I would like to introduce the speaker from Korea, the Dr. Unna Kang.
Yes.
Okay. So from the Seoul Research Institute. So she shared the experience in Seoul City. So the floor is yours.
Okay, hello, my name is Eun-ha Kang. I'm a research fellow at Suwon Research Institute. And thank you for giving me a chance to share our city's experience here. And then nice to meet you all. The title of my presentation is Development and Implementation of Suwon's SDGs.
Sorry, Dr. Kang, would
Yes?
you please make your presentation full screen? Because
it is not full screen?
Yes, for us.
Okay. How about that? Now, is it full screen?
No, not
No?
yet. Yeah. Would you
Really?
please just share it again?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, now full screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So let me start with the scale. First, UN SDGs are for all in the earth, and Korean SDGs, like national level SDGs, are for everybody in Korea. And our cities, my cities SDGs, we call this one Sustainable Development Goals. It is more focused on the citizens' life. So it is more specific and more concrete, and we think it is more related to the citizens' life. So my city sets our own SDGs based on our city's characteristics, and now we are implementing and monitoring it with people's participation. So my talk covers how we set up the SDGs and how we monitor the implementation. So in this map, my city Suwon is here. It is not that big as Seoul, but it is highly crowded, like the heavy population density. So as a fast-growing city, Suwon meets lots of urban problems like heavy traffic, air pollution, and other old town declines, that kind of lots of problems. So we try to solve these problems in many ways. For example, like the Suwon Eco Mobility Festival, it is called, we think it is a people-oriented and environment-friendly ways. So in addition, Suwon wants to solve this kind of problems by setting our own SDGs and implementing it. So we establishes our own SDGs by citizens' engagement in 2017. So it started from the organization of Suwon Council for Sustainable Development. And then we did the 16-month project to develop our SDGs. So first, we enact an ordinance for sustainable development policy in Suwon's administration. And then we operated the working groups to build our SDGs, like targets and goals. And the working groups include voluntary citizens and multi-stakeholders, regional researchers, and civil society leaders and activists. So we did lots of working group workshops, and then we did the surveys, seminars, and open discussions to have more listening from citizens. And then by the citizens engagement process, we declared our goals. So we did this kind of performance. So it is a citizens' public joint declaration, but not only just this declaration, the process to build our SDGs are truly by the people's engagement. So we declared our SDGs in 2017. And here is the goal, targets, and targets. So the vision is sustainable city with harmonious coexistence of people and nature. And all these 10 targets are related to the UN SDGs, but we need to more focus on our city level and people's citizens' life. And we set up our SDGs. So now it is the implementation. So we organize the governance. we build a commission on sustainable development of Suwon to diagnose status of sustainable development of Suwon comprehensively and control the all over the process. And then we have Suwon Council for Sustainable Development, and they do the SDGs indicator monitoring and citizens education. And then under the public administration, we built a new team, Sustainable Development Strategy team. So this team supports the governance operation and also links the current policy projects to SDGs. And Suwon has monitoring the implementation of goals by citizens engagement. Again, it has been since 2019. So it's been 3 years. Since 2019, we did implementing the SDGs and monitoring the achievement by citizens engagement. That means we gather the monitoring group with about 80 people. They are all from volunteering citizens, researchers, and again, civil society activists. And then we educated the monitoring group to collect the data, to how to collect the data and then understand the data's meaning, and then do the evaluations. So by the lots of educations, so the monitoring group successfully evaluating the process and published the SDG monitoring report every year. So at the end of this year, we will have third monitoring report. And then in addition, we also published the local level VNR, Suwon SDGs action report in line with UN agenda. And then ongoing processes for the achievements are here, like the Suwon Council for Sustainable Development, keep doing the adjusting and modifying the indicators to be measured by local authority level, and then keep educating the indicator monitoring groups for better understanding and for better communications. And in addition, they do the projects related to sustainability, like heat map drawing by people and energy prosumer educations like that. And then do the seminars and educating public officers. And then, yeah, and so on. So in this roadmap, we are here now, we think. So the early stage of improvement. So we continuously do the sustainable development achievement, and then we do the indicator monitoring and evaluation, and revising the targets and indicators and like that. So in this early stage of improvement, even though we have lots of experienced social communities and the experiences about the people's engagement to do these processes, we still need like the normal, that the general people's support. And then in addition, we need support from the higher administration and neighbor cities. So here are the challenges and policy recommendations. So it'll be my last slide. So first challenge is actually, it is difficult to collect and analyze the data for lots of indicators by the voluntary monitoring group, because some indicators are hard to measure and some data are very difficult to obtain. So we need to modify the indicators for, like they rearrange the indicators for measurable ones and others like to be qualitatively evaluated, like for example, tier 3 level. And then for continuous archive of continuous monitoring, we need SDG data center to produce data and then to keep the data for a long time to monitor it annually, like an archive. And then it is difficult to cooperate with Gyeonggi-do. It is the higher administration and neighbor cities because other cities and Gyeonggi-do do not monitor and publish their SDGs achievement. They do some, but it is not like my cities do. So my city has annually report by monitoring lots of indicators like that. But this cooperation is really important for better understanding and getting ideas and then earning synergies each other. So we'd like to ask Gyeonggi-do administration needs to build the dedicated department to monitor and promote the SDGs implementation, especially affecting the lower level, the local level cities. And moreover, in the national level, we have Sustainable Development Act, but we think it needs to be upgraded to Framework Act on Sustainable Development to put this sustainable development concept at the top priority of policy. If we have that Framework Act, we think it'll be possible to put the sustainable development concept at the top priority. Then now we have a designated department in the Ministry of Environment, but we'd like to ask the designated department should more actively work on the monitoring the Korean side SDGs and offering the implementation task down to the local levels. If so, we'll have more projects supported from the central government, and it'll be much easier to do and then have enough funds from that as well. So now it is the end of my presentation. Yeah, and thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Kang. It's very informative and then the candid messages. So thank you very much. It's kind of the impress. If I remember correctly, the Suwon is one of the the local government produced the first SDG related report by local governments. The SDG 11 one. So that is very very first one before the voluntary local review movement. So it was very impressive, and also the I'm very, the stakeholder engagement is very high from planning to the monitoring and evaluation whole policy process. That is very good experience, to be shared with other cities. So especially citizen monitoring and also the data set, the challenges you shared. It's kind of the common challenge for the all local governments currently, and then also the national government and provincial kind of more higher level of the government relationship and the synergies. That is the very issue. So maybe if time allows, I would like to come back to that issues later on. Thank you very much for your message.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So now I would like to introduce the final presentation from the city, the city side. So from Mongolia. Mr. Nyamdovji Arimar, my pronunciation okay, from the head of the head of the Institute of Health and Social Policy from Mongolia. So floor is yours.
Okay. Hello everybody. My name is Nyamdovji. I'm participating from Mongolia. Thank you for inviting this meeting. Today, I will introduce more focusing discussion about private company and NGOs partnership within our governor's offices in experience. And I first prepared this presentation. Okay, now we start presentation. Oh no. Hang on. Sorry, please open share. Denise, please share my presentation.
You cannot by yourself.
So
Okay, Namdurj, I
Yes.
will share your presentation file.
Okay, thank
Yeah, in here by my side. Okay, just a moment.
you. Okay. Энэ цаанаас шеэрлж чигнэ. Okay.
Can everybody see the presentation file?
Yes, we will see.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I'm so sorry, so Namdurj, just if you want to next slide, just call the next, and then I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We see the importance of stakeholders participation at all levels in the SDG implementation governance system. Today we are more focusing discussion partnerships in civil societies work within in the city governor's office. Please next, Dennis slide. I can't. Dennis, please pass to next slide. Oh, yeah. This is our organization brief introduction. And the Health and Social Policy Institute of Mongolia, founded 2012 and reformed in 2015. We have been working on research and consultancy, monitoring and evaluation projects, professional, independent and timely manner environment. Now, since 2015, we have been working with the Ulaanbaatar Mayor Office of the Improve Waste Management in Ulaanbaatar. Okay. Ulaanbaatar City Public Utilities and engagement of multi-stakeholders. Yes, yeah. In the Ulaanbaatar City's main issues in policy, any policy document developing purchasing issues. First, our key experts, key staffs, and of course, they are developing policy documents. Then, as collect citizens' feedback and in key professional institutions, experts, and key stakeholders' feedback. Then we develop the key documents, submit to city representatives meetings, then approve all document policies, approve government offices, then and government office in implementation according by policy all activities. This including the landscaping, green planet workers, engineering workers, waste transportation and cleaning activities, and catching and destruction of stray dogs and cats, and other federal policy. In our private sectors, in mostly implementing all in contracted workers in landscaping, in green planet works, in engineering some activities. These all activities in Mongolia, in Ulaanbaatar cities, NGOs responsible daily monitoring activities in service quality issues, service in the housing services, and yeah, the contract. Okay, please next slide. And contracts including our NGOs work with the Ulaanbaatar Mayor Office. Our contracts activities included next activities, developments and waste management policy program documents, and community satisfaction surveys, waste management and development, and we monitoring and the quality of the road cleaning, daily basic provide information to parties, because in Mongolia, in the road, this is very big issues. In winter, it's so high snow, in stone, and big problem. And waste transportation company, waste cleaning companies in daily servicing, we are daily monitoring and check that, and after provide information to governor's office and other parties. Our next big activities, we every time organize in surveys. The surveys is very important. We surveys results basically next improved policies, activities, developing programs. Yeah. In Ulaanbaatar City Governor's Office, and the stakeholders' engagement is very high. Civil society's role is high. We are developing all documents, and then City Governor's Office key staffs and check our prepared document and policies, then after improving own activities. Yeah. Okay, please move to next slide. Multi-stakeholders engagement mechanism to implement the SDG local level NTS. Ulaanbaatar City has been developing rapidly last few years. The participation of multi-stakeholders has been a significant impact of the development of Ulaanbaatar, including citizens, private sector, civil societies, international NGOs, international other organizations, and government. Yeah. Move next. In advocacy strategy and tools, especially more focusing on waste management sectors, in advocacy strategy, very important issues. I thought increasing public awareness, we will make significant and contribution social change and growth. I think about regular long-term advocacy can be have significant impact of changing people's behavior and attitudes. There is lack of advocacy strategies in our country, in Ulaanbaatar City. Decision makers do not pay enough attention to advocacy, spend and less money. Very lack of money spent to advocacy activities in waste management sector, which is slows down social change and progress. I think about our city citizens in behavior is very slow changing. Okay, move to next slide. Okay, format type of local government participation, the SDGs policy making national level. I think about this mid-level expert is very important in Ulaanbaatar City, because mid-level experts are often involved in public policy making. When these people have good knowledge and high skills, they have the foundation to make good policies. Therefore, it's necessary to pay attention to capacity building of mid-level specialists and experts in district level, in Horo level, Ulaanbaatar City governance level. In mid-level experts, very important. Okay, next move slide. In challenges and recommendations, yeah, current situation in our government's office and very slow to provide information in the multilateral organizations, key stakeholders. It's just very slow. There is a weak tendency of stakeholders to recognize civil society organizations. SDGs are not well integrated into any mid-level planning and policy development. Of course, in high levels and already integrated. Mid-level is its mean in district level, Horo level, in planet activities, on planning and other policies, lack of integrated SDGs. Yeah. Another one is in Ulaanbaatar is in the capacity of civil society organizations very weak. Is very big issues. Yeah. Another one big issue is lack of public education and knowledge is very lack of. Okay, move next slide, please. Yeah, recommendations. I thought that increase of knowledge and education of decision makers, improving governance, because this is very important issues. there is a need to improve the interagency cooperation and communications. Many different activities, many different organizations, activities same. We need them integrating. Cooperation is very improving. It's very important issues. Small and medium level managers in the city level, district level, horo level, in the waste transportation company level, should be selected through the open public selection process. This will be improve the quality and accessibility of the work in the capital city and district level. We will lead to the development of good policy documents that will be effective long time in all activity, all planning, and all prepared activities, good quality services. I think so is in good managers, good skills very important. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for a very informative presentation. I think I think like a CSO involvement in the ensuring the quality of urban service is very interesting stories, and also the survey and the data and evidence based one. So that is very important. So also for the challenges, for advocacy strategies for the more how we try to engage more people, and also it's important to raise awareness of decision makers and policy makers. That is also the important, the points we need to raise for further implement the SDGs. So I think in the presentation slide, so there is a kind of the capacity development of policy makers included. So maybe that element should be included in the somehow actions of the local governments. So also the timely and appropriate information sharing with local stakeholders is a key to promote and then SDG actions at the local level. That is very, very important. So data information is a key to promote the SDGs at the local level. So having said that, thank you very much for the collaboration of the speakers. We have 7 minutes for discussion, question and answer discussion. So if for, for the participants, do you have any questions, comments to the speakers? Please raise your hands if you have any comments and questions. No? So while we're waiting for, okay, so Dennis, you have a question or comments? Dennis, you unmute. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for the chance for the questions. Actually, I wait for the another questions, and then I will take it. But nobody have raised their hands. Actually, so I'm quite. Thank you for the 3 cities presentation. It's quite impressive for me. And then I'd like to ask mainly how to recognize multi-stakeholder groups in your process to include for the decision making. And then for the Kyoto city, I'd like to know what kind of institutional arrangements you have to in the governance, I mean, to include the multi-stakeholders to set up the policy decision making. And for Suwon, I'd like to know how to mainstream the results of monitoring of Suwon SDGs into the policies, any other policies, particularly economic policies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. はい、藤田さん、はい、ガバナンス、マルチステークホルダーの、はい、ガバナンスの話で、はい、お願いします。
日本語で、so I would like to speak in Japanese. 京都にはもともと地域のコミュニティがすごく活発に活動している実績がありますので、そうした日頃から活動しているコミュニティを有効に活用することに努めました。
So you asked how to act with multi-stakeholder groups to implement successfully SDGs. So in Kyoto, we have originally a very active citizens group or private sectors group. So we mobilized these active groups.
その多くは、文化や、それから祭礼、フェスなどでつながっているグループです。
So among many of these groups are originally connected to the cultural events or festivals. So that's how we make and mobilize a multi-stakeholder network to implement SDGs successfully.
Yeah. And one more question I had for the Kyoto City is institutional arrangements for the multi-stakeholder engagement in your governance to set up your policy making. Would you please let us have the information?
.まず市役所の中の各局で横断的な議論の場を設けるようにして、レジリエンスや SDG についてすべての局が担当できる仕組み作りに努めました。
So at first, within the city, Kyoto City local government, we were very trying hard to make a multi-sectoral conversation and discussion at first. And in order to make it that possible that the implement SDGs and resilience in a very collaborative way.
あと他のステークホルダーの方をどういうプラットフォームとかを作ってコンソーシアムとか作ってらっしゃると思いますけど、そういうアレンジはいかがでしょうか。I'm asking somehow the multi-stake how to
Actually, for example, I mean the legislation or any kind of institutionalized arrangements for the multi-stakeholder engagement Kyoto City have. Or not.
The consortium he presented is one of them, but I'm asking the other some institutional arrangement details. 何か他にそのコンソーシアムとかですね以外にそういうステークホルダーを巻き込むためのそういう法制度というかなんとかその組織的なアレンジメントがあるかということなんですけれども。
やはり京都市のもともと持っている政策として。常に企業や大学や幅広い市民と連携していくということを市政の推進の柱にしてきた市長、首長がこの間努めてきているということが大きいと思います。市長。
The registration for the Kyoto SDG consortium it's quite possible because Kyoto City had originally some policies to mobilize policy decision makers and on the top of that, the mayor is originally very actively contributing to SDGs. So it is quite comparatively easy for Kyoto City to set a registration or set a organized system to make a SDG Kyoto consortium.
Thank you very much. So Kyoto has a very strong history of the public participation. So I think every aspect, somehow many aspects of the policy making and implementation, there are some, the mechanism to involve stakeholder engagement, and then the kind of root of that somehow history is kind of the somehow the decision makers, the mayors, some initiative for ensure that. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Fujita, for your the answer. Then I want to move to the Dr. Kang for the answer to the question.
Okay. At the monitoring stage until now, the SDGs monitoring group, they now just only the monitors, the indicators value. So if it fits, if it is reached to our goal or not, like that. So to check the status by single by the the single way. So it means we maybe we are not comprehensively evaluate the status of our sustainable development by mixing all the concepts. But we have a new checklist to make a new policy projects in our public administrations. In that checklist, there should be there is 3 checkpoint. One is if this new project to intend to protect the environmental nature, and then the another checkpoint is if this project is to consider the social minors. And then the last one is if this project is to promote the economical growth. So in that checklist, all new policy projects should consider all 3 concepts of sustainable development. But it is to make a new project, new political projects, but at the monitoring and evaluation point, we are not that yet.
Thank you very much. So do you have any other questions? Maybe I can take one more question. No, it's okay. Okay, so Mr. Namdorji, do you have any final comments from you or somehow your impression of the other stakeholders here? Yeah.
No, Ulaanbaatar City Mayor Office in the beginning of year, every beginning of year, they organize a consultation meeting with key stakeholders. Very open discussion about all full year activities, planning, policy issues. Then key experts in developing in key policies, in key documents. Then after implementing, involved key stakeholders' comments, feedbacks, and activities. They shared all activities and key stakeholders participating implementation process. End of year, again in consultation meeting, evaluating meeting, which activity, which planning, which policies, implementation result, how was it? Then after is next year program, next year policies have to improving in open discussion and stakeholders in the private sectors, in NGOs, other governments, other district level, branch level, and from feedback, discuss next issues. In the monitoring stage, and of course in all city activities, daily monitoring, monthly monitoring, yearly monitoring, they have already prepared in checklist, included indicators. They also have integrated SDGs, integrated monitoring and checklist all activities. Then after we evaluate which indicators is fine, which indicators is problem issues when we improving in discussion this processing.
Thank you very much. It's very good to hear that the mayor has a system to hear the stakeholder voices for the policy, the planning for the next year. So that is very good. And then also the some indicator issues. Thank you very much. And then maybe so I was ordered to finish this session of the 4:10, so it's time. So thank you very much for the all speakers for your informative presentations. It's very the informative, also the encouraging, encouraging for the other local governmental stakeholders. So I think the inclusion of the stakeholder engagement in the planning and SDG implementation planning is very important, some institutionalized. So how to institutionalize is kind of issue, but somehow institutionalize is the first kind of step to do. And then also the more integrative view should be included in the implementation. So, and also the reporting monitoring is very important. And then I think the next session, the Shimokawa Town will speak, and then we collaborate with them to preparing the voluntary work review. And then I think that is a good tool to promote the, like a stakeholder involvement, as well as not only the monitoring and evaluation, but that it's good to promote stakeholder involvement. So maybe I'm very looking forward to the hearing the next session for more information. So thank you very much, and then I will just close the first part of the discussion. Thank you very much. So I'll come back to I back to microphone to Dennis.
Thank you for your great moderation and wrap up, Ms. Yasukara-san. Arigatou gozaimashita. Now I'd like to introduce the moderator of session 2, Ms. Charudulam, Director of Healthy Cities Network, Mongolia. Ms. Charudulam, the floor is yours. Ms. Charudulam, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. So would you please turn on your video camera?
Okay, no problem.
Hi, good afternoon. There is some problem in internet connection here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, now it's okay to see. Charudulam?
Okay.
Yes.
So,
yes. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Please, go ahead. Your floors. Charudulam, I think it's the internet connection is not quite sustainable between you and us.
So my internet connection is okay. So this is the
okay. This is just my suggestion. We should just turn off your camera just for the effective internet connection.
okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry about that. We want to see you. We should please test something for all of us because we cannot hear you.
So what is?
Okay.
Hello, it is okay?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. The Healthy City Network have the 17 city members of Mongolia and work together for being a healthy city at country sitting. So we have the number of the actions.
Charudulam, are you there?
Here, so
actually, Charudulam, I think so. We have some problem in internet connection is going on, not yet solved. So we cannot hear some points you already told. Would you please turn off any other program in your computer? Can you hear me? Yes, your voice is okay. Yeah, but we have the problem to hear you.
But then
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it okay for
moderation?
Yeah. Okay, just keep going on.
Okay, let's start the session.
Oh dear.
The 10 minutes to make a presentation. So please take attention for speaking time. So also according to your concept note, this session is covering SDG 4, 5, 40.
Shardula?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I think it's there is still we have problem. So
Okay.
that's why I think it's for this time, it's the moderation, your moderation work is cannot be work on perfectly. And then so the time is delayed to invite the presentation because still we just we can just hear some of your words, not entire one. So I think it's okay. I take over the moderation of this sessions on behalf of Chundalam. It's okay for you?
Yes, Denise. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry about it.
Yes, no problem.
Yes, yes. So that means okay. We lose some time, so I'd like to just invite our Japanese presentation, Mr. Yasushi Tamura, Manager of Policy Promotion Department, Shimokawa Town. Please join, and the floor is yours. Hello.
Hello.
Yasushi, Mr. Yasushi-san.
Hello, I am Yasushi Tamura of Shimoka Town.
Yes, thank you.
And it is an honor to be able to share our experience. We are a small town with a population of around 3,200, located in the coldest region of Japan. Since the year 2000, we have been aiming for sustainable community by focusing on our forests, which cover 19% of the land, through an integrated approach of the cyclical forest management system, utilizing as much of the tree as possible. One of our main policies as a coal town is to use brushwood, usually abandoned in the forest for producing heating energy, with 56% thermal energy self-sufficiency. We use the reduced energy cost for parenting support. Following the adoption of SDGs, our effort to be a sustainable town aligned with the global goals. So we show our commitment to aim higher through SDGs in the nomination of Japan SDGs Award and SDGs Future City. Our first step in using SDGs, an effective tool, was to create 7 goals of our own. As the goal of the comprehensive plan, Shimoka version of SDGs is a goal to achieved until 2030, with local residents taking the lead. There were some interesting discussion in the creating process. Firstly, as SMOCA and Japan have a long way to achieve Goal 5. A female member pointed out that the town that disables women to be active cannot survive, taking the lead in making a resident-led women's group to encourage and expand women's civic action. Second, even though SMOCA has no sea, members said that we are the root to many rivers, and it is our responsibility to achieve Goal 14. We start off with Goal 7, education, because it is a resident's top concern above all goals. We made a community-based educating vision, aiming to be a co-educating town, like one big home where no child is left behind. When COVID-19 closed to school, we started a YouTube channel about the town for children's community education. To achieve SMOCA's goals 3 and 6, we have a renewable energy roadmap, aiming to further evolve host approach to produce energy and other resources that we consume to circle to money and economy that following out, creating new industry and employment, and reducing external dependence. Starting from awareness raising through SDGs maps, concrete action with us. We need to be towns that invite residents to take concrete action with us, to leave no one behind, as I'm behind in Goal 5. The resident-led women's group introduced before became declaration. They take action to make difference in their SMOCA life their own way, speaking up for themselves. Through our experience, SDGs can be used as a checklist, revealing in new issue by looking back at the community from 17 angles. Having a big goal, it was easier for us to tackle COVID-19, especially from the 3 dimensions. Also, backcasting to realize the goal from the present state. The framework of SDGs enables us to deliver our vision, our action, vision and action, to promote our brand like VLRs. VLRs not only help us look back and understand what we've done, but plays a big role in enhancing our brand to the world, especially as the only town publishing the VLRs. This leads to new partnerships from company company to other fellow local governments. And needless to say, this opportunity we are having right now. For more information, please look at our VLRs published with IGES, and our English site. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a nice presentation. For me, it's quite impressive integrated approach and integrated goals for sustainable development of the Smokawa town. Yeah, that's particularly the SDG 9 and SDG 15. It's quite integrated for the goal of the culture-based some Smokawa town's vision like that. It's quite good. And I'd like to invite our Suncheon City from Korea. Ms. Seon-mi Hwang, the floor is yours.
Hi.
Hi. Please share your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon. I am Seon-mi Hwang from the Department of Suncheonman Conservation, Suncheon City. Thank you for inviting me, and I am pleased to present a case study of Suncheon City in 2021 Multi-Stakeholder Forum on SDGs. Now, let me begin my presentation with the title, The Past, Present, and Future of Suncheon Wetland City of the Ramsar Convention. Suncheon is an urban rural complex city with rich ecological and cultural resources, and is also a historical city that has 700 years of history. The population is 286,000, and Suncheon is the most populated city in Jeonnam Province, Korea. This slide shows the history of Suncheonman conservation. Suncheonman was designated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site this year. In the late 1990s, Suncheonman faced threat from collecting aggregates. Suncheon citizens were wise and chose the conservation instead development. The citizens made the first governance platform where NGOs and city governments meet to cooperate. Every year, we put our efforts to maintain the nature of Suncheonman and continuously enhance biodiversity through the restoration project. And we believe that this will increase the number of tourists. To conserve Suncheonman, Suncheon City is managing the area by zonation, designating zones as urban, transition, buffer, and eco-reserved area. Suncheonman is included in the eco-reserved area, and the bay has been the largest ecotourism site since late 2000 in Korea. During the time, suggestions were received which include the need to disperse tourists concentrating in Suncheonman and redirect the flow of tourists toward the urban area, considering the ecological carrying capacity of the bay. As a solution, Suncheon City created the 1.12 million square meter Suncheonman National Garden between Suncheonman and the urbanized area, and hosted the Suncheonman International Garden Expo in 2013. In addition, by expanding the tourists past the direct visitors of Suncheonman to the National Garden, we were able to disperse of the tourists. As a result, the number of direct visitors from Suncheonman decreased from 3 million to 1.5 million, but the number of visitors from the National Garden increased to 4 million, which means the total number of visitors also increased. The following slides show legal management system of Suncheonman conservation. Suncheon City increased the surrounded land area of Suncheonman inland protect area to prevent pollutants from going to the tide flat. As a result, the hooded crane, which is the international endangered species, and the official board of Suncheon City has increased in the number from 80 in late 1990s to 3,100 in 2020. Hooded cranes that are wintering in Japan during the spring and autumn season visit Suncheonman as their stop-off site. 40% of the total population of hooded cranes in the world, including the stop-off group, visit Suncheonman. The following slide is about the governance system. Suncheonman was able to become as a world-renowned wetland because it has a cooperative governance system that brings together multi-stakeholders from the city government, NGOs, and academy. The Suncheonman Wetland Community is an advisory group that was formed for the effective conservation and sustainable use of Suncheonman. If need, we organized a small-scale wetland forum named as Suncheonman Eco Talk to listen to its thoughts from various fields. Suncheon City promotes various projects to return the profit generated from Suncheonman ecotourism to the local communities. First, reed cutting project removes old reeds every spring by hiring local residents. Those reeds cut by local residents become fence and roof covers, which means that we recycle the resources. Second, landscape agriculture is a project that encourages farmers to adopt environment-friendly agriculture for hooded cranes and to also provide tourist attraction. We remove 408 electronic poles to protect birds in 29 every winter. Local people assume the rule of patrolling to protect migratory birds and to provide safe habitat. As a result, Suncheonman became a safe ecotourism site, not only for birds, but also for tourists. So we have registered a municipal ordinance to return the 10% of profit generated from Suncheonman ecotourism. Through a lot of discussion and consultation, the ordinance enacted in 2014, and the grant project for local communities is being implemented every year. Last, the enhanced awareness program for local communities is also facilitated. Following slide is about grant program for local communities. The target grantees are 11 villages or as marked in green on the map around the Suncheonman and local NGOs. We call for proposals from local communities to implement projects that aim to save environment and improve the quality of life of local people. We also support local NGOs who did grain monitoring project and cleanup project that reduce marine waste. My last slide is about police proposal. In Korea, tide flats are under the autonomy of the Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries, while inland wetlands are under the Ministry of Environment. In the case of Suncheonman, it is a connected ecosystem that has inland and coastal wetland. In the regard, integrative management system from the national government level is required. More budget for wetland conservation and management to enhance biodiversity needed to be secured. Local governments lack of human resources for professional wetland management. We need more specialized officers who can reflect various news from NGOs to the administrative level. Last but not the least, the most important thing for ecosystem protection is cooperative governance system. Fostering local organizations who can take a role of secretariat, connecting local government and local community is needed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Ms. Song Mi-hwan. In my understanding from the presentations, I got some messages from the great effort to conserve the marine ecosystem, and that's great improvement in the biodiversity and the local economy, and even we can see the identity of a Suncheon city from your efforts, those kind of initiatives. I got this main message from the these kind of initiatives. Without local people's participation and engagement, no such successful outcomes we can get. And then even such kind of the local appropriate local governance, any kind of national governance, local governance need to be established for the further improvement. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite our last presentation from Mongolia, Ms. Anki, is it right to say?
Yes, yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. That's me.
Urban Environment Department. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction for Denise. I'm just going to share my presentation now. How is it? Is it visible for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, then. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and sound during this pandemic difficult time. My name is Inhe Samboing. I'm climate change specialist of Ulaanbaatar Environmental Department. So today I'm going to share about issues and practices SDG implementation and its localization of the municipality of Ulaanbaatar. So in my presentation, I will introduce about SDG of Mongolia and its localization of municipality of Ulaanbaatar. And also I'm going to briefly introduce about SDG localization pilot project, which is implemented in the Ulaanbaatar in the area of urban sustainable resource management. So I'm just going to start, I will start with Mongolia's SDG first. As we all know, our economy is agriculture based. It's a high dependency on natural resources. Mongolia's economy is not resilient to global commodity price change, as well as not resilient to natural disasters. These vulnerabilities have had social and economic consequences, presenting complex challenges to sustainable development. In addition to that, Mongolia is notably impacted by the climate change. In addressing all of those issues, sound development policy planning that incorporates sustainability will be crucial. In this regard, the Parliament of Mongolia approved Mongolian Sustainable Development Vision 2030 in 2016. Using this document as a compass and initiated the review of existing over 200 effective policy documents for the alignment with the Mongolian SDGs, as well as the coherence between each other. Also, the Parliament of Mongolia adopted a law on development policy and planning in 2015 and updated this law in 2020. This law is the legal base for establishing an integrated system of development policy and planning. Despite the early adaptation of the agenda, challenges are still in remains. So the localizing the complex, interdependent and comprehensive development goals to the national context, prioritizing and mainstreaming them, especially into medium and short-term development policies and government budget framework is still in progress. The institutional-wise, currently a National Council for Sustainable Development led by the Prime Minister is in place. Also, the National Development Agency provides technical support on localizing the SDGs and ensuring policy integration, while the National Statistical Office strengthens the database. The next step will focus on the strengthening capacity and coordination between the different levels of government, private sector, civil society, and citizens. The SDG localization requires the local policies to be holistic, scientifically sound, and integrated. That includes the multi-stakeholder participation. In this regard, Citizens Council of Ulaanbaatar approved its Vision 2030 in 2020. So, urban characteristics of Ulaanbaatar are unique, and I think it's different. It is very different from any other development cities in the North-East Asia with regards to the cold climate and history of nomadic lifestyle, and also urban planning system based on socialist model. So in 1950, only 20% of Mongolians were living in urban area in Ulaanbaatar, I mean. Since then, the Mongolia has experienced rapid migration to the urban area, especially after its transition to market-based economy in 1990s. In the last 10 years, the city's population increased by 24.6%, and now it's reached to 1.5 million inhabitants, which is over 60% of the total population. And also, Ulaanbaatar accounts for the over 60% of the national GDP as well. In this slide, we can see the Vision 2030 of Ulaanbaatar. So this Vision 2030 of Ulaanbaatar focuses in 4 high priority areas, which are people-centered policy, environmentally sensitive solution, planet infrastructure development, and good governance, all of which are incorporated with the SDGs fundamental statement of leaving no one behind. So I'm just going to briefly introduce about this, how many targets and baselines. The Vision 2030 set as a baseline year of 2018. So this vision included a total of 17 goals and 83 targets and 169 indicators, and which of them, like 126 indicators, are available today for evaluation. So the main goal of the vision is by 2030, Ulaanbaatar city is aiming to raise its GDP twice, as well as race, as well as reducing poverty and unemployment rate. Also raising green space per capita 9 times higher than baseline. So currently we are facing the few challenges to localize the SDG at the local level. The first would be like the very weak policy coherence that leads to the weak intersectoral collaboration at the local level. And then it's going to be like the local challenges are not really fully reflected on the national policies. Also, the duplication of functions throughout the local and national level institutions are very challenging. And also, inadequate data and information availability is the big challenge for us. And of course, the limited resource of finance and lack of citizens' participation and weak human resource capacity is also a very big challenge for us. So on the next slide, I'm just going to briefly introduce about the pilot project. So the Ulaanbaatar's sustainability issue is rooted in the rapid urbanization, as I mentioned earlier. Also the extreme climate conditions. So but it's about 60% of the city's population is residing today in Gir area, with a limited coverage of the urban utilities such as water, drainage, sewage, and heating system. So the steady expansion of the city, especially throughout the Gir area, has created a greater demand for resources and taken up large parts of previously uninhabited land. That includes the forest area. Ulaanbaatar's total forest cover has declined by 22% over the last 20 years because of that. And sustainable urban resource management involves the multiple sectors and different levels of government, thus requiring the effective collaboration of multiple stakeholders with different perspectives, also with a different knowledge and understanding of the whole situation. So in this regard, integrating the sustainable development goals into local action project, which is this project implemented regionally in 5 pilot cities, and Ulaanbaatar was the one of them. The project implemented during the 2018 to 2021 with the local partners like the Asia Foundation and UNESCAP. The UNESCAP, through the UN funding mechanism, was able to provide funding for this project and was accountable for its general management, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. On the other hand, the other Asia Foundation supported the coordination of participating organizations and individuals involved in the project and facilitated the delivery of capacity development activities in Ulaanbaatar city. The main objective of the project was to strengthen the capacities of local governments and other key urban stakeholders to implement the 2030 agenda in area of urban resource management. The project core team consisted of the following key stakeholders, such as UN Habitat, Ulaanbaatar Environmental Department, which is us, and forestry specialized NGO, and Mongolian University of the Life Science. Over the next 3 slides, I will show you the brief summary of the baseline studies conducted and what achievement we have achieved. So in this slide, it's all about the international practice. So green areas of the Ulaanbaatar have been degrading due to the high rate of urbanization, resulting in high occurrences of forest fires, illegal logging, and increased land ownership in protected areas. This research aimed to strengthen the existing data, increased awareness of ecosystem service among the stakeholders, and the study of international practices on introducing payment for ecosystem service. On this slide, this is the next component of the project. That's the forest cover assessment of the green zones of Ulaanbaatar. So the research aimed to build baseline data in terms of land use change and forest disturbances as of 2019 compared to the previous years. The team reviewed and verified the existing geographical and statistical data available and developed Ulaanbaatar forest maps. Also, they developed change assessment maps, health assessment maps, and overall analysis. So the last component of the project is that how the livelihood of the community is affecting. So the research objective was to explore people's behavior to improve the community-based forest management. The team conducted brief surveys among the households on firewood supply and demand, and surveyed firewood supply to study the wood supply value chain. The team also conducted a brief survey among the communities close to the forest area to explore the illegal logging of firewood and to understand their livelihoods and benefits from using the forest resources. So on this slide, I just briefly collected the project-related core SDGs. So the government of Mongolia recognized that there are emerging needs that must be met at the national level to target SDG 12 and to preserve Mongolia's natural resources. In order to achieve this, actions would have to leverage other closely related SDGs as well. That includes the SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities, and also SDG 15, life on land. Therefore, the goal of this project was contribute these targets addressing the Ulaanbaatar sustainable forest management. So what policy recommendation came out from this pilot project and also what we have learned from this project? So that based on the stakeholder interviews and responses, the following policy recommendation had been determined. The first one is the payment for ecosystem service. And second is awareness raising campaign or activity. And the last one is the sustainable forest management. There are several factors that played a crucial role in achieving the objective of this project. First and foremost, from the selection of the key issues to the identification of the pilot project activities, there were a lot of discussions and conversations that developed trust among the stakeholders. Through these stakeholders, we have learned to listen to each other and understand different priorities. So also at the last phase of the project, everyone knows that COVID pandemic affected us as well. So that delayed many stakeholders meetings and capacity building trainings. But at the end of the day, we all tried to connect through the Zoom and all the social media and everything. So that was the lessons we all learned from this project implementation. So that's all for me, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation, Ms. Anki. Yes, I think the Ulaanbaatar city is at the start line for the sustainable development goals implementation. And then it sounds quite, positive expectation for me. And because actually I had worked in the Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia in 2008, 13 years ago, to combat the desertification in Mongolia, together with the Korean and other Korean environmental NGOs. When I lived in Ulaanbaatar, I was so suffered from the tough air pollution, from the yellow dust and then even the black dust from the wheel tire burning for the heating, particularly during the winter season. At those time, I thought if the Mongolia or Ulaanbaatar city takes some, management sustainably their, forest surrounding their city, it would be much better to manage such kind of air pollution. So, but at the moment, I can see the Ulaanbaatar city some, plan to manage for the sustainable forest management. Thank you so much. And then we have 4 minutes left to the 5 o'clock. But I'd like to just get some more, take some questions from our floor to the presentations. And if you're okay, so I'd like to keep managing our time to the 5 minutes more. Participants, if participants okay, it's okay for me to allow to manage our sessions until the 5. Thank you so much. And then anybody have some questions to our presenters or any kind of comments to add Japan and Korea in a Mongolian presentation? Please raise your hand from your icon in your Zoom meeting system, or just raise your hands on the video camera before the video camera. No. Okay, so I want to just last comment by our presenters for each. So start from our Yasushi Tamura-san from Simokawa Town. Yeah, please go ahead to your last comment for the session.
何か最後に一言あればということですが、田村課長に。
Thank you. Japanese speak. いろんな国のですね、取り組みを聞かせていただいて、我々もこれから SDGs の達成に向けて、いろいろと参考にしていきたいなというふうに思ってますし、下川町のお話を補足すると、今森林の話とか出てたんで、ちょっとお話ししますと、計画的な植林と育成と伐採を60年間で繰り返していますので、そういったことを参考にしていただければなと。そこからバイオマス活用ですとか、いろんなものに活用していますので、そういうふうにお話をいただければと思ってます。
ありがとうございます。So Mr. Tamura mentioned that hearing the various lots of the somehow stories from the other countries, he want to somehow refer that experiences to the future Shimokawa action. Also the the other kind of the Mongolia and Korea, they mentioned about somehow forest conservation or natural resource conservation. So for your reference, the Shimokawa has a kind of the cycle of the forest management in 60 years. So that means the afforestations and then the fostering the one, and then the some cutting trees and utilize that products. That kind of the good cycle. The Shimokawa has been developing the good cycle of the forest management. So I hope this kind of the Shimokawa experience can be a good example for the cities has the same issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Shimokawa Town. And then our Suncheon City. Last comment.
한국어로 말씀드리고 동아시아 센터에서 근무하고 있는 성보 씨가 간단히 통역해 드리겠습니다. 순천이 습지를 보존한 것은 결국 이곳에 오는 관광객으로 인해서 도시경제가 활성화된다라는 측면도 있지만, 그것보다도 순천만 같은 경우에는 많은 순천을 경유했던 하천들이 바다로 나가는 이 강의 하부에 위치해 있고 이곳 생태계가 잘 보존됨으로 인해서 이 습지가 갖고 있는 생태계 서비스를 시민들이 같이 공유한다는 차원에서 매우 의미가 있다고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 지금 2023년도 이제 10년 후에 개최가 되는 2023 정원 박람회는 그 공간적인 범위가 도시 전체가 됩니다. 그래서 어떻게 하면 도시 전체가 건강하게 그리고 그곳에서 사는 시민들이 행복할 수 있을까에 대한 고민을 하고 있는데요. 유엔에서 발표한 SDGs의 목표가 우리 삶 속에 하나하나 그리고 모든 행정의 각 부서에서도 이런 지표 달성을 하기 위해서 고민을 같이 하고 있고 그리고 작은 것이지만 시민들이 하나씩 실천할 수 있는 그런 모델을 만들려고 노력하고 있습니다. 오늘은 제가 순천만을 가지고 짧게 말씀을 드렸는데 다른 부서에서 도심 항공 법안에서 하고 있는 SDGs 목표를 달성하기 위해서 하고 있는 여러 가지 사례들을 공유할 수 있는 시간이 오기를 기대하겠습니다. 오늘 너무 감사했습니다.
Thank you.
Sorry. Translation. So first of all, the Suncheon Bay Conservation leads, in the end, it leads the increased number of tourists and it enhances the tourism in entire city. But not only for that, also protecting the ecosystem is leading the enhancing the ecosystem services, and also the citizens are benefiting from the ecosystem services. So that's the big important point of the Suncheon Bay conservation. And then in 2023, the Suncheon City will host the International Garden Expo. And we expect that this expo venue is the entire Suncheon City, which means the Suncheon citizens will get benefits from the hosting the expo. And as SDG goals aiming that embracing the multi-stakeholders in the city for the development of the city, and noting that we also think that the integrated cooperation as administrative level in local government is also important. So not only for the environmental area, but also other administrative level cooperation is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now is Mongolia. Our Mongolia, please go ahead, your last comment.
Okay, thank you all for your comments and kind words, and thank you for Denise that mentioning you came to the visit in Ulaanbaatar. There was air pollution is a big challenge and a big problem for us still. So as I mentioned in my presentation, in 2019, the government of Mongolia issued that Mongolian voluntary national review, how we implementing the SDGs. So on this documents, we have clearly stated about this air pollution is as a development challenge in focus. So our pilot projects implemented in last 3 years very closely related to this issue as well, because about 2 years ago, government of Mongolia initiated this clean coal program, which is to reduce the air pollution during the winter time. The most sources are the good area. People just need to heat themselves and cook foods as well. So in that way, most of the people who reside in the good area need the lots of fire log wood for fire. So that way, it's just our pilot project come out in the right time to evaluate all this firewood supply and demand, and in the future how we going to reasonably and sustainably use our urban forest. So that was the main achievement from this pilot. So yeah, thank you for all the comments and regarding the ecosystem payment and also this urban forest management as well. So in the future, we will be happily, very glad to cooperate these cities as well and sharing the experiences and best practices. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mongolia. And then before closing this session, so I'd like to invite our Chadalam. Actually, she is the moderator of the session, but because of some internet connection, she cannot take this work. So I'd like just to have her last comment as a moderator, if she did do. Chadalam, are you there? And then can speak? Chadalam? Okay, she cannot speak at the moment. Okay, for my closing remark, I'd like to appreciate all the presenters for your information sharing and contribution at local level. It was a great time for me to learn local stories of 6 cities in 3 countries and citizens. I'm so proud of local government's voluntary and active engagement for SDG implementation. I started my initiative for sustainable development from local level in Korea and have worked with the local government to establish the sustainable development governance for the past 20 years. Local government's voluntary efforts for sustainable community have a long history. In my knowledge, it has promoted for almost 30 years worldwide. In case of Korea, actually, local governments have led the sustainable development movement and contributed a lot to create the enabling environments for sustainable development goals implementation, even though national government had no interest in support for the past 10 years. I heard many local governments in different countries have taken the voluntary actions for sustainable development. However, I rarely met local governments in the UN's SDG follow-up process, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region, including North-East Asia sub-region. That's why I'd like to invite local governments as an important stakeholder to share their actual voices directly with other stakeholders and ask for the active participation of local governments in the UN sub-regional follow-up process afterwards. This is the first meeting for local governments to share their stories for SDG implementation in the Northeast Asia sub-region. As it has been urgently organized within a month, which means that we have no enough time to prepare, there are many laps for local government's participation, such as language interpretation and program agenda. In addition, we are so sorry about local governments from China and Russia could not be coordinated due to time limitation. Hopefully, we can meet more local governments with a better program in the next North-East Asia Multi-Stakeholder Forum on SDGs next year. Thank you for your contribution again. See you next time. Thank you.
Dennis, how about having the group photo at last?
Group photo, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
and
so,
I'd like to ask
all the participants
here, so would you please turn on your camera and then take a shot, take a photo shot all together, please. Thank you. Namdurj, are you there? And the Yamashita-san and the Sharhan, Shajulam. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
hopefully see you next year again, right?
Yeah. So for 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Much. Thank you for your time.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Dr. Junichi-san, thank you so much for
Yeah,
your
thank you, Junichi, for your
organization.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah. And Charles
ありがとうございました。
ありがとう。
シタさんどうもありがとうございました。
バイアルラ、
ありがとうございました。
バイアルラ、ありがとうございました。
Yeah, thank you.
Arigato.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
下川町の田村さんも、よろしく、枝広先生にいつもいろいろ教えを請うてますので、